Good time.
Why would I rock a boat that could end everything right now?
If you do anything for money, you'll do anything for money.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I needed to be noted. I will be fake if I need to.
You're bought and sold.
Joe's tactic, that was a Tone Groove tactic. Unless I'm ready to obliterate the relationship, I just won't do it. DJ Akademiks calls out the Breakfast Club and the Joe Budden Podcast Network, or just Joe Budden Show, for not speaking on the Roc Nation, how Roc Nation has been bullying people. I really don't have, when I even put this down, I'm like, what conversation could be had from this? Like, that's where I'm at. Okay, Akademiks is calling them cowards for not wanting to touch anything that has to deal with any Roc Nation story and not speaking about the negative things that are happening.
Just Joe Budden, right?
No, and the Breakfast Club. And he pretty much said
right?
all. Yeah, he's 100% right. Yeah, so he's saying all of them, but he highlighted those two strictly off of numbers.
Yeah.
And
is he right though?
Yeah, because what Roc Nation is doing right now is the case that is coming out about the girl, I can't remember what her name is.
Desiree Perez.
Desiree Perez. Her daughter is filing a restraining order or just a lawsuit against her.
Said she was put in an insane asylum, said she had her phone.
Some wild shit. And we don't know nothing, Roc Nation, at all. This is
alleged.
This is actually hearsay. I just heard this from a nigga at the corner, and he was drinking a Old English. So
with a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Roc Nation, we don't believe this shit.
So we don't want no problem. But yeah, he was calling them out because he's like,
I want all the problems.
Because also what allegedly has been happening is Roc Nation, if you're making like think pieces or just videos on this shit, they are getting niggas' YouTube channels the fuck up out of here.
Yeah.
Like, they striking them out, boom, get them up out of here, you know?
Yes.
So he was pretty much saying, like, I'll talk about it, even though I don't want no smoke. He still kept it kind of vague, but was just like, y'all got the nerve to, like, come at me for not speaking on it, but some of y'all biggest ones that are leading the black ear or viewership, they also run from them as well, too. You know what I mean?
The people that preach that they other people and not other industry and shit.
Yeah, essentially. And I'm pretty sure the Breakfast Club didn't respond. The only person we would be looking for to respond from the Breakfast Club is Charlamagne, obviously. Yeah. He'll respond at some point. If it didn't happen on the most recent Brilliant Idiots, I haven't watched it in quite some time. So
I don't remember anything like that happening.
Are y'all mad they're not touching on it?
What is there to touch on though?
You know?
I mean, pretty much the case. Anything negative.
So just discuss the case, you mean?
Yeah, anything negative in a Roc Nation light, people's channels are actually disappearing currently, right now. So
you will vanish.
Yeah, and these are small, and it's even small creators, not even like people as big as Akademiks. So if they got time for the small creators, they have more than enough time for the big creators as well too.
And I guess the conversation, Lauren, to be had is like, it's just a major coincidence how Desiree Perez situation is happening, and then like this whole thing with Tory is happening, that like
and DDG
it's just a triple fucking stack of like, whoa, this wasn't real,
a lot of Roc Nation affiliates are in these real questionable open cases right now that has everybody look at the way it was first marketed to us was this person was evil, blah blah blah, but now that we like things are coming out, we like,
and in this culture where like people don't waste any time to like destroy something, right? So it's just kind of weird how like nobody's trying to like destroy Roc Nation, and it's not even like destroy, but just like
ring the alarm on them.
Ring the alarm of like, this might be something we should look at in 10 years.
Right.
A question for y'all then. Imagine y'all were one of those platforms right now with that success. Homeroom University has made it to that level of success. We talk about a lot of different things. This story comes up. You don't have necessarily the answers, but what's a way to make the alarm, like ring the alarm? How do you ring the alarm right now?
Well, I mean, you talk about it. You speculate like every other podcast does in the world. But he's just coming from the standpoint that their fear in touching on it comes from how powerful Roc Nation is, and how of the industry these niggas really are. Because at the end of the day, they can't rock the boat that they sailing on.
Well, and to answer your question as well too, like if it's that big, I don't have to rock that boat. I don't have to rock that boat. If I gotta, why would I rock a boat that could end everything right now?
Unless they have
because especially
you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
Another question is what year am I at?
You stand for nothing.
I stand for a lot of shit.
No, you gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
You gotta wait. Like even with the Diddy shit, they had to wait. Those platforms had to wait a little bit. because you had to just give it some time to develop a little more.
The Desiree Perez situation has been going on for a little bit of time.
I don't know the
The
details.
daughter thing is new.
I don't know the details.
Yeah, but that's just
but
new
just her
in
being
her
a
case,
question
in
for
her
sure.
case of being a questionable person
because everything
since 6ix9ine.
everything that Jay-Z raps
That's what it
about
was.
that happened to him, he's like doing to other people. Like
Well,
he's
one of
tapping
his-
niggas allegedly.
Yeah, like one of
But
the CEOs.
he's surrounded by people that's tapping niggas' phones, putting niggas in tumultuous situations with 12. It's like it's just that
You're
shit.
gonna get it right one day.
Tumultuous.
Yeah, nah.
Tumultuous.
I think that's
Tumultuous.
better. Though. We like that.
Tumultuous.
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 Tumultuous. It's beautiful.
Tumultuous.
But
Nigga,
Diddy's out here blowing up niggas' cars, dog.
That's still
Alleged.
Allegedly.
That was a Molotov cocktail.
Allegedly, but still, like, there's a lot
and
of
Kid
things.
Cudi is soft. Who knows if that's like
What do you mean, Kid Cudi?
Kid Cudi's soft?
He ain't fireproof though.
The nigga said he was staying in a dark shadow like a villain, like the Joker.
Did you not see Diddy cosplaying as the Joker? I fully believe that shit. I think Diddy takes advantage of all shadows.
We're getting off on subject, but
So yeah, so are y'all? So y'all not speak? Y'all rocking the boat? Y'all dropping the think piece? No matter what.
rock.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say rock the boat, but
I would say ring the alarm. That's how we said it.
you
before.
touch on what's real. Like you touch on what's real, and you don't just jump out. You don't jump off the ship immediately. You don't just go.
So you patient.
You don't go off an allegation and just start spatting at the mouth.
yeah,
But
I would
then-
say you ready the sales, like in Pirates of the Kid. Ready the sales.
That's
It's
the
like you're
only
not
time-
leaving, but it's
Right.
just like
You know,
you
getting ready.
you say what it is. Like I might say, all right, Roc Nation.
I built a case up.
They've built up, a case that looks bad, and we're not going to touch on it too heavy because they get niggas going. I'll
Why?
actually say that because
Yeah, but if you're gonna do it, then you do go into it.
not
you
necessarily
can tread lightly.
exactly
You don't have to splash in the puddle.
Just say you wait
because
for
of
more
what they're
info.
doing. I don't think Joe Budden is going to talk about it, even if the case is finished. I still don't think they're going to talk
You
about
think
it.
he's gonna touch it?
So,
No, he's not. I
and
mean,
that's
and-
why I'm saying, you just touch on it just a little bit as it goes on because I'm being realistic too. I don't want to fucking lose my channel in this hypothetical, lose all
Right.
the hard work
Yeah,
niggas work for
essentially.
Yeah.
just because,
And then imagine,
and you
even
also
if,
don't
even
want to
if you
lose your
were
credibility.
even if you were on for 5 years, like you've been doing great for 5 years, $500,000 a year, 5 years for like straight, you're up.
yeah.
Would you risk it then? Because it's different
Well, you
from
said $500,000
Yeah.
a year for 5 years straight.
Yes,
Ooh, that's a lot of fuck you money. It's not a lot, but it's
you're doing pretty damn good.
doing pretty damn good. To
Yeah.
where it's like
How
I can,
much?
I can be the king of the underground if I lose everything.
$500,000 a year.
2.5 M's in 5 years.
Yeah,
Just to not say nothing.
that's the position you're in life. A case comes up where you can lay out all the facts. You can tie it in all the way down to the Astro World, fucking Houston situation.
Oh, I'm snitching. That's enough.
You going for it?
Going for it.
That's what
This is what happened to me. That's why
what's
I'll just tell my story.
Your story? What?
Yeah, because these niggas are involved with Roc Nation, so it's just like you can only speculate so much on what an alleged case might have been. All you can talk about is your personal preference, nigga.
You're
Your
not
personal
doing
experience.
It. You're not doing it.
Why not?
I'm not doing it either.
I'll do it.
I think it's fair to choose what stories you approach at what time within the
Do it.
story it is, like on all stories.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on at the time? Where are they on the story?
Yes.
How important is this story? How much do I know about this story? Do I wait and do I not? Like, I think that's all things to consider initially in any story. It's like, how much do you know about it? You just did it before this. I don't even know if I'm gonna touch on this. I don't know that much. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
And where's the conversation? We start talking about it. So like,
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say like that type of shit may be the way you can broach that subject until for something like that that's big, you have to broach it like that before you really like dive into it. Cause it's not just a regular story that I can just say, hey, I think this is what it is.
And let's be correct.
Especially when it's in the court of law.
And let's be correct, Lauren.
I
Like
think it's important for me to say, if I was getting that $500,000 a year, I needed to be noted. I will be fake if I need to.
You're bought and sold. You're soulless.
Not bought and sold, but I have a lifestyle I'd enjoy continue maintaining.
Oh, so you're a diva.
I'm not that invested on any of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm not invested on any. I don't have that much of a journalist in me to where I'm that invested to get into the nitty gritty of all things, especially things that could jeopardize what I have going on.
I understand that too.
So that's me. I know that about myself now.
I see what you're saying.
Like that's just one story. There's 100 more stories out there still that I'll have full investment on. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something that'll fucking put me in jail, have niggas want to kill me, all this other shit, I don't need it that bad. For what? For what? But I'm okay with admitting it. I'm not gonna walk around saying like anybody can get it. I always tell the truth. I'm not gonna do that.
Michael Beasley, we watched him in the beginning. He said something very profound. Mm-hmm. If you do anything for money, you'll do anything for money.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You're a whore. A gluttonous whore.
You'll do anything for money, you'll do anything for money.
That's
And
but you're also talking about something else. You're talking about doing something for the money.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I'm already making the money off being myself.
yes,
Yeah.
But off of
I'm choosing not to talk
I'm
about.
omitting things to not stop me from being able to make money off myself.
but
It's not
so
my
you're
job.
willing to-
I'm not a journalist. It's not my job to break the news on every single subject. I choose what I want to talk about on my show. Essentially, is what it is.
It's not your job to break the news.
understand.
Say you're in a situation where it's brought up and you're in the conversation. Do you just exit out of it, or if somebody asks you a genuine straight up like, "Yo, how do you feel about this shit?" You're gonna be like, "Nah, I got too many sponsorships."
Nah, Tone. Say it's a hypothetical where you've talked about the same subject just in another context
With different
people
that wasn't attached.
to you, which just that Joe Budden has done that. But
Well, that's the whole point. That's why I'm not doing it.
Because you're ahead.
but that's
Because in this situation, you've done it to other people, but you wouldn't do it when it hits close to home.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I would be a hypocrite in that situation. Yes.
for $1.
I'm not doing it for the dollar.
No.
I'm
You're
doing it to
doing it-
protect
my
dollars.
assets, protect my interests.
I'm doing it to
my
protect
family.
my
Yeah.
dollar.
I understand
This-
the thought process of what you're
I
saying.
don't know, man.
Nah,
It just
man.
sounds
It's-
like it's,
all you have is your word, nigga.
Well, no, but what is your word when it's something that's that far away from you anyway? Like this is not happening in house.
If it's
This is
that
not
far,
something
if
that's
it's
going
that
on.
far
And I
away
would-
from you, why can't you touch on it?
and
No,
we're-
you can. I'm not
No,
saying
because they're touching niggas.
and we're also making it seem like
Touching
I have
niggas?
no idea.
Or send a copyright.
I have no idea what those YouTube channels were saying.
I don't
what,
either.
what I am talking about, look, I'm not going to use this situation as more of an excuse to shit on all of Roc Nation. All right? Because
Okay,
just specifically talking about the 𝙿𝙻𝙰𝙽 Perez.
Correct.
I wouldn't use that as like, and
Let me tie
then because
together
of
this
this,
thing. Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't believe what's happening with Tory and Meg, and
And then
also this, because
blah, blah.
that is what's going to get you like tied
I do
up in some
wonder the
situation.
channels that have been clipped if they were doing things like that. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Let's
It
assume.
might not
Let's
take
assume
much to
it's
get them, dog.
It might not. And
It might not take much to
You
tip
might just
them
be
off.
reporting. I mean, once the niggas go to court, your content has fed itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally, you just read the transcripts. That is all we need because most of us aren't in court.
Yeah.
So it's like even that might have been getting niggas clipped.
The
Just
fact that
going through the actual facts.
The fact that you're getting people to
if
think
that's
about
happening,
this shit,
that's different.
that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
They sending something your way.
If you're just reading the
Right.
actual transcript that's available and they're getting shit like getting that taken down,
That's
now
dark.
that's a problem.
That's
Yeah.
abusive. That's
Now-
abusive.
now
but
that's a
that's
problem.
what it is.
I don't know that.
But
I don't know any of
think
that right now.
Based on the way
This
they
is all thought. Like nobody
and
knows.
I haven't looked into who got clipped because of this and that and whatever like that.
Yeah.
But I will say they are speaking that way.
You're right. That's the sentiment you're getting.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
what
That's
else-
how it feels.
That's how it
Like it's
feels.
coming across.
What else could be the case?
And I don't need it.
It could be a
It's
lot.
just I'm not that committed to it. You know what I'm saying? When
But
there's 100 other stories that you
it's
could possibly
also-
with that much depth.
But also,
You know what I'm
this
saying?
is how like situation.
This is how R. Kelly did his thing.
No, this is how situations like in the last 6 years with Weinstein, R. Kelly,
Yeah,
Cosby.
yeah.
This is how situations like this
Compound.
happen
'Cause
because
of niggas
people
like
are in
you.
power. People are in power that have a lot of control
Mm-hmm.
that can manipulate people
Get
to
niggas
do
out of it.
things or to say nothing. So it's like, I mean, you can be like what is it, the black sheep that does it first. Or you could just be,
It all depends on what
One
I
of the white
personally
ones.
think
one
is
of the
happening.
white ones. Who
It's-
wants to be,
Following the shepherd.
who wants to be a
I,
white
it all
think
depends
the
on-
story would help too.
Yeah, the story would help. It depends on what I personally think is happening. Like, if you believe in your heart of hearts that niggas is doing some real grimy, evil shit,
Right,
then
right.
maybe you should say something. If you believe that you don't know what the fuck is happening, then you should shut the fuck up because you don't know what's going on.
But you can say
Even-
that too, though.
Yeah,
You can say
but
you don't
even-
know what
I've
the
said
fuck
that,
is
yeah.
happening.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
even
said.
outside of that,
So
so
you can do
I'll
that.
say that like I might have a strong stance if it was something involving like child trafficking or something like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'll have a strong stance on something like that. These things that are happening right now with this current shit, these people are adults. They can work it out themselves. DDG is doing just fine.
We talking about 𝙿𝙻𝙰𝙽.
Yes.
I don't know that situation, so I don't.
Yeah.
Actually, she's a minor, isn't she? Or is she?
Nah,
she's not a minor.
She ain't no fucking minor.
Not
her
Desiree,
child,
the daughter.
Maybe we might have to look that up. Maybe 16, 17.
That's what I thought.
But in terms of like, wait, hold on. So you'll talk about, women getting, grip. Like
I guess
you'll talk about.
Really just depends
so you'll
on the
talk
story.
about the extreme. I'm done, and I'm not trying to put you in a bind, but I do want you to know what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's like you'll talk about the extreme, but you won't talk about something that's, I don't know, like on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Well, let me put it this way. So that was a bad for me to even try to put an example on it. That's the best way to put it. What if I were to speak against a group that was allegedly moving this way? I would do it, but I'd be going into it knowing I could lose everything. Of course, that's what I would say.
But and that's
the
why
more severe the occurrence is, the more willing you are to put your shit on the line.
Possibly, yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
It's like you said, if it's some drastic situation, some kids are getting harmed. That's harder to hold your tongue about.
Exactly, but like something that's like, I'm not willing to put my everything on the line for a story like this.
For Meg getting shot in the foot,
come on,
like I feel
she can work it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's where I'm more at with it. So like, I don't think. I mean, I would be called a coward in the eyes of somebody that wants you to just jump off the ledge at any possible moment.
Yeah,
but people, the ones rooting you on to jump off the ledge have nothing to lose. They're just in the comments.
But this is what everybody complained about, and probably what we complained about before getting into whatever this is that niggas don't be real.
Yeah. So that's everybody's critique of the legend.
That's everybody's critique of everybody in entertainment, of everybody in media, that niggas don't be real. And I feel you. I don't want to lose everything because I don't believe what happened to Meg is really what happened. Like, I don't want to lose everything, but still.
I don't personally think that's everybody's critique.
That's the biggest one though, is that niggas is fake, and they uphold the industry. They uphold like their personal business relationships, as opposed to when you kind of first fell in love with them when they was younger, when they wasn't as of the industry and they could just talk freely.
What did Charlamagne say? You either of the
other people of other industry.
Like and he was of the industry.
Yeah, he's always been of the industry.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a weird line. I don't know. Like, I don't want to lose everything I have, but I also don't want to not speak on something
out of fear
of
that, because that is like some weird, like, you playing with my ego now.
You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't affect my ego.
Congratulations. But you don't stand for nothing though, nigga.
It's not true.
You don't care.
It's things, and it's just like shit like this happens. Like, nobody wants to talk about something until it's safe to talk about. Like, nobody wanted to bring up, like, I don't even want to bring up Puffy.
But niggas know examples, dog.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you're not guilty. You're not also
Harvey
guilty.
Weinstein.
Well, just saying, like, nobody wanted to talk about Puffy and Kim Porter's situation, and how she just went away mysteriously 6 years ago. But now it's kind of like, yeah, man, let's kind of look back at what the fuck happened with Kim Porter.
Now that the Band-Aid's peeled off.
Because he's in a
he's in a cage.
You got pictures of drawings of him with gray hair, and he all disheveled.
That definitely
he's all fucked up.
helps. The fact that the nigga that was getting cars blown up
he's somewhere safe.
Locked up.
He's safe from me.
He's safe from me.
I'm safe from him.
But
everybody's safe. Everybody's loved.
Can y'all acknowledge that it gets tricky when the law is involved? Like, it gets tricky when legal shit has already occurred. Like, how much you can say, how much you should say. You know what I'm saying? Like, when all that's going on, if you don't have facts or evidence, it's hard to put yourself in that kind of position, depending on how big your platform is it?
No, you can just say, I don't have a fact for this, or I don't know all the information for this.
People aren't going to take that as an answer from you.
And that'd be kind of like a half-ass story cover of it. You're not willing to go in.
Not necessarily. You're just being honest, and you're protecting yourself.
Because it wasn't until
while also protecting your integrity.
Yeah,
you're doing everything.
It wasn't until
timing matters too. Like, ideally, you waiting until there's enough like real solid information.
That's what I said.
What I said. For you to actually infer and talk about how you feel about this.
Because the Diddy thing, it wasn't until the Cassie video came out that everybody was like, "Oh, finally, we can really say." But for the niggas who knew the story underneath, but already knew,
which they make it seem like everybody knew.
Right, and then those niggas weren't saying shit. Now that's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, it's a lot of them.
But like, how do you bring it up then? To your point.
Well, look at the people. Look at the people who move with what you're talking about by always saying something. Dame Dash has always said something about everybody that done weird shit. As bad as his situation, I don't know. Let me make sure I say this. I have no idea how bad Dame Dash's situation, good or bad, it could possibly be.
Yeah.
But he's always been consistently calling out people like Harvey Weinstein.
He was early on a lot
Puffy,
of that shit.
all that shit.
New
Like
York
from the
Post.
beginning,
That's
he
good.
has always been that nigga. Like no matter what, whether I lose it all or gain it all,
At the expense.
Of his success.
Yes.
right? Exactly.
At the expense of his success and everything you stood for. And it's like, not stood for, but you get the point. But you know,
And that's
it's,
why
Every
it's
time,
unfortunate.
every time a bad story breaks, you can pull something Dame Dash saying, "Nigga, I said this in 2002 when I was on." But I pressed
And you can
the
look
nigga.
that up.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Jay-Z has more money, but I think Dame Dash might have like, it's hard to say, but I think he has more like street level respect. Which you can't buy nothing with that
No.
shit.
Jay-Z has you can buy street level respect.
You can't-
Jay-Z
No, you can't
has
buy
street level
anything
respect.
with it.
Jay-Z has
I don't
Jay-Z
know.
won. Like he has the money, but he also has the fear.
Yeah.
Which is another big part. Like nobody really fears Dame Dash.
Well, fear is respect, but it's a different kind. It's not the same as like,
I don't even want to say fear because apparently they clipping little niggas too. You never know.
yeah. Fear and respect have the same result, but it's not the same. It's not the same thing.
I mean, yeah, like it's like non-consent. You know, a baby can be had, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's it's still the method
Yeah,
though.
but one of those is illegal.
Yeah,
dog.
one of those things. Yeah, of course.
You just compare grape to
Well, I did.
respect and fear.
You
nigga.
got it
All right,
though.
that's good though. But